What's up, guys, and welcome back to the channel. And in today's video, we got to do the predictions for UFC Atlanta, Georgia. It's fucking fight night taking place this weekend. I don't know what fucking accent this is. I don't know how to do an Atlanta. What's an Atlanta accent even sound like? But regardless, Georgia. Where's that? Atlanta, Georgia. I don't fucking know where Georgia is. I'm Australian. Australians don't get taught only their own country's fucking geography in schools. Is that all Americans teach, by the way? Just American geography and then American presidents. Is that like all you guys learn? Because I am curious. Let me know in the comments. But anyway, I am kind of retarded though, so I can't really be talking. But at least we teach more stuff to be dumb and ignorant at than just those two individual topics. But anyway, weird way to start the video. I don't know what I'm doing. But anyway, this is going to be a quick, famous last words, quick video. I'm skimming through this shit. I'm trying to get to sleep, bro. I got work tomorrow in the morning early, so I'm trying to get more than like 4 hours of fucking sleep, like I have these last few days where I'm up until 4 a.m. doing a video that gets no views. Anyway, let's get started. First fight of the night. Hey, how do you not put Jamie Lynn Hoth versus Vanessa Demopoulos on the main card? Is a banger. This is a badass fight, kid, let me tell you. There's two tough cookies, two bad ladies, you know, they're going to go in there, they're going to scrap. No, these two are going to go in there and have a fucking cardio kickboxing match, maybe a bit of wrestling as well, you know, maybe a bit of yoga in there as well. I'm going to pick Jamie Lynn Hoth as the bigger woman, the more manly looking woman as well. That's the tried and true method. When in doubt, pick the one who looks like she could whip her dick out, you know, that's the saying that I've been using for a while now, and it works out pretty well. And anytime I move away from that saying, what do you know? They fucking win. So it is like I picked Eduardo Mora, for instance, to beat Denise Gomez. I was like, oh, but surely I don't always go with this pick the one who looks trans thing. And it's like, no, just stick to that. So I'm going to do that, and I'm going to pick Jamie Lynn Hoth by decision. She's a big favorite. Let's move on to the next fight. Next up, we got Phil Rowe versus Ange Loosa. This fight's actually quite interesting, and I haven't made up my mind on this, so I might fence it this one and change my pick when I post my final predictions will be what I post on either my community page or my Instagram, usually on the Friday before the fights, / Saturday in Australia. But I'm right now going to go with Ange Loosa. That's my vibe. I just cannot trust Phil Rowe. Now, the thing is with Ange Loosa is he is susceptible to just getting picked apart at range, so if Phil Rowe is going to win this, despite him having a very kind of NPC, rangy boy striking style, he is decent at range and he does have solid striking. I do think he's the better technical striker than Ange Loosa. But Jake Matthews sort of outdogged Phil Rowe and just kind of threw more output and just... And Phil Rowe, that fight went 15 minutes. Phil Rowe threw legitimately 15 fucking strikes. Like, he landed like no strikes the whole fight. And not because Jake Matthews was putting on a fucking defensive masterclass. Like, he was also able to use his physicality. Phil Rowe's a stick man, he's twig man, he's got the twig man build. And Ange Loosa's a jacked up dude, so I don't know if he's good or not, but you know, I'll pick him to win, I guess. But I might change my pick on this one. I might even have to do some tape study, which I haven't done for any of these fights. Anyway, let's move on. Next up, Ricky Simone versus Cameron Smotherman. How do you not pick Cameron Smotherman in this fight? Kid's an absolute savage. No, I'm going to be picking Ricky Simone. He was going to be fighting Charles Jourdain, which was a way more interesting fight, and that actually would have been something that I would have really considered a Charles Jourdain underdog call, because he was actually like a decently sizable dog in that one. But no, I'm picking Ricky Simone. I just think he's better wrestling, even a better striker. There is a weird vibe here that Smotherman could be a one. Like, there's always going to be one big ass favorite that sells on this card. Like, I could see Ricky Simone somehow randomly getting like outstruck at range, but I'm going to be logical and I'm going to pick him to beat Smotherman, assuming no shenanigans take place. Smotherman fought like a month ago and lost handedly to Surrey City, so I'm not going to pick him to beat Ricky Simone. Let's move on though to the next fight. Next up, Cody Durden versus Jose Ochoa. I'm going to be picking Jose Ochoa. If you don't know about this kid, he's actually pretty good. I think he was actually booked at one point to fight Josh Van, if I'm not mistaken. Obviously, our boy Van would have won that fight. But he got Lona Kavanagh in the debut, both undefeated at the time, I believe now. He obviously took that loss to Kavanagh, but he put up a pretty good showing for himself. His striking looked pretty solid. He actually hurt Kavanagh to the body, I believe, in round 2. Since then, he hasn't fought, obviously. That was on November card, so he's been out for a minute, but I think he's probably, like, made that debut, took his loss, took some confidence from it as well, saw that Kavanagh's kind of a prospect now in that flyweight division, and he's young too, so I'm going to back him to make improvements, and I just think Cody Durden is very hittable. I think Van showed how hittable he is. Even Bruno Silva being able to KO Cody Durden is not the best look for Cody Durden. And historically, he's just not a very good defensive fighter. He also even got subbed with a guillotine, I believe it was, or maybe I think it was a rear naked actually against Tagir Ulanbekov at UFC 296. So I'm just going to pick Ochoa with the finishing potential here. Cody Durden could do the lay and pray thing and just sit on him the whole time. And sometimes you do see young guys who are always trying to get a finish, pause, and they can kind of like gas out, or they can not really know what to do if they don't get that finish, and they kind of just get stuck on bottom, pause again. I think Cody Durden, I don't see him being able to just lay and pray the whole time. I think Ochoa's got too good a stand-up, too good of a ground game, and just too explosive and quick and dangerous all rounds to lose this fight. I don't see him getting like fluke finished either. The finishing upside's on his side, and unless it's just pure lay and pray snooze fest from Durden, I even think a decision would be going to Ochoa as well. Let's move on though to the next fight. Next up, Malcolm. Hey, how do you not pick Chris Moutinho as a fucking plus 1,000 underdog, kid? Let me tell you, this kid's a savage. I'm taking him to win by round one submission. Twister. Let me tell you, what's the question? Moutinho? Yeah, he's getting a fucking twister. No, I'm obviously going to be picking Malcolm Wellmaker by round 1 KO. Like, genuinely, I would not be... The odds aren't out yet. The odds on the fight are, obviously. The odds on KO, I guarantee you, are going to be like minus 400. So, when inevitably Moutinho just takes all Wellmaker's shots somehow and takes him to a decision, you're going to see a lot of people mad that he sold the parlay, because you can't put Wellmaker at like minus 2,000, which is what he's at some books. You can't put that in a parlay, unless you're some fucking psychopath that adds that to like a 20-legger, and then that's the one leg that loses. But people are going to be parlaying Wellmaker by KO, and even the round 1 KO prop might genuinely still be like minus 150 or some shit. That's how nuts this, how wide this line is when you can't even get a plus number on a method of victory prop. Anyway, a method and round, I should say. Anyway, yeah, he should tee off on Moutinho. It's just about whether Moutinho's chin is that good. I think pure power puncher, Wellmaker seems to be showing more one-shot KO ability than O'Malley, who was just kind of touching. I feel like we're going to see Wellmaker looking for a KO, with his O'Malley was kind of just looking to tee off and clip farm the whole fight. So I think Wellmaker gets him out of there. Let's move on though to the next fight. Next up, Michael Chiesa. Hey, this kid's making a fucking run for the belt at 37 years old, kid. Keep an eye out on this guy at 170. He's a prospect. Tell your friends about the prospect, Michael Chiesa, because let me tell you, he's the younger man in this fight. I've never seen Michael Chiesa with a 3-year youth advantage in a fight within the last fucking 10 years, it feels like. But I'm picking him to beat Court McGee. Court McGee's an old head. Court McGee's a bum. Court McGee fights like how your fucking 50-year-old uncle tells you that he would hoop back in the day. And then you see him hoop and he chucks up the most egregious midi you'll ever see in your life. Like, that's Court McGee throwing punches. You're like, yeah, pack it up, uncle. Get back in your fucking chair. Go back to the barbecue, buddy. So yeah, Court McGee ain't doing shit to Michael Chiesa. Like, yes, Chiesa can get subbed and he can get finished by people, but that's people with athleticism. That's people with finishing ability. And apart from subbing fucking Tim Means, this dude's not good. I don't think I've been impressed by a Court McGee fight ever. He got victimized by old Matt Brown. He got fucking victimized by anyone good. Jeremiah Wells, I believe, killed him as well. So yeah, I believe Chiesa should either get him out of there with a sub or just dominate to a pretty easy decision. He actually looked half decent against Max Griffin, who took Morales 3 rounds. People forget, man. Max Griffin took Morales to the cards, and Michael Chiesa subbed him. So on paper, Michael Chiesa beats Michael Morales. Need to book that fight next, guys. Anyway, let's move on. Next up, featured prelim, Paul Craig versus Adolfo Bellato. Hey, how do you not pick Adolfo Bellato? Kid, let me tell you, kid's got fucking herpes. He's gonna be dealing fucking poison damage out there. That's badass. I don't know what the fuck. I don't know if he's on drugs. I don't know what this guy's doing. It's disgusting. It's embarrassing, and I never want to see it again. But this man pulled out of their UFC Vegas 106 or 106 co-main event. And yeah, the reason came out that he had herpes, and so he wasn't medically allowed to fight. Interesting reason to be pulling out of a fight. Man's been getting busy in Vegas. What can you say? Fair play to him. Either he needs to get his partner tested, or he needs to get tested. One of them sleeping around. Or maybe he's a single man, you know, maybe he's just living his good life in his 30s, or however the fuck old this guy is. But I think he will victimize Paul Craig. Paul Craig's just a victim to anyone with finishing ability. Paul Craig can be, like, I know Meniz has, like, some occasional finishing ability, but, like, Paul Craig's wins recently are guys like Meniz, and apart from kind of fluke and some subs against, like, now top 5 light heavyweights, which that was just OG Paul Craig. He ain't doing that anymore though. Like, now we haven't seen the Paul Craig via, like, flying anvil fucking third round triangle in a minute. So I don't think we see it here. Bellato is retarded, but I don't even think this fight will somehow... If this fight ends up... If Bellato shoots a takedown, I'm turning off my fucking stream, and I'm gonna just end the, like, card. I'll be live streaming this card this weekend. If Bellato shoots a takedown, I don't even care what happens after that. As soon as he shoots a takedown, I'm ending stream. Because this man's IQ is questionable. So having him as a lock is worrying. But I think any man with finishing ability against Paul Craig on the feet, I would say, is a lock. And Paul Craig has just never even displayed good wrestling ability either. Let's move on, though, to the next fight. Next up, we got this kid, Umar Sy, this Frenchman, obviously modern day Frenchman here. Umar Sy, obviously, he's got that immigrant mentality. Fucking Stiopic. I love that guy, Stiopic. He's got that immigrant mentality. I'm picking Umar Sy via finish. I just think Alonzo Menifield's shit. He's not good. He was having a fucking back and forth, sloppy, like, brawl. 50-year-old fucking, like, divorced men taking each other's anger out in the fucking Muay Thai class. Like, this is the type of shit you saw, the level of striking you saw with Alonzo Menifield and Julius Walker. Now, I picked Julius Walker as just like a goofball pick, because I'm just like, I don't know, it'd be funny as fuck if he just comes in on his debut and just beats a top 15 light heavyweight. And it shows how shit that division is, that Julius Walker was, like, almost, like, somewhat competitive and almost beat Alonzo Menifield. So yeah, I'm not picking this dude. Yes, Sy looked mid at times against Dawoon Jung, but Dawoon Jung took Carlos Olberg to basically the decision, third round. He tapped, like, with like 10 seconds to go, which it went to the cards, but then they replayed it, if you remember. It was weird. On that 293 card, the Strickland Dizzy card, it actually made it to the distance, and then they went back and saw a replay that Dawoon Jung had actually tapped to a choke, which clearly he shouldn't have, because it didn't put him out, because he made it to the distance. But anyway, I'm picking Sy. He's got choke abilities. He's got... He took down and ragdolled the GOAT, Taco Tacos, and also he looked decent on the... And this dude's got a crazy reach, like... He's going to have like a 5-inch reach, 6-inch reach advantage, I think, on Menifield. He's going to be way bigger than him, so I'm just going to pick Sy via youth, via athleticism. There is a chance that he's just too inexperienced, but I do trust him here. Let's move on, though, to the next fight. Next up, we got Mansour Abdul Malik versus Cody Brundage. Out here, not pick Cody Brundage. Kid beat fucking Julian Marquez. No, I'm not picking Brundage. The fact that he, like, almost got slept by Julian Marquez and had to just grit out like a touch and go, almost got slept, but Marquez, like, if he landed one more shot, he's probably KOing him again, and then Brundage finds a comeback sort of weird finish there. That was just an absolute bar fight, brawl, whatever. If you're going to that level of scrappiness and competitiveness with fucking Julian Marquez, the guy who got KO'd by Zach Reese in 15 seconds, by the way, Zach Reese, who just took Dusko Todorovic to the cards in a shitty 29-28. By the way, Abdul Malik just fucking in his UFC debut ragdolls, tossed around and bullied and finished Todorovic. And now I know that's MMA math, and you don't want to use that, and you don't use that at the high levels. But low level MMA, I can just kind of think logically and just put two and two together and make 6, and just be like, yeah. I reckon I can figure out who's going to win this. The guy with zero fucking athleticism who quits in fights. Now, I bet if you can find out, because I know the normal lines is KO, KO, TKO, or DQ. If you can find a line for individual just DQ, chuck a fiver on Cody Brundage by DQ. Because Abdul Malik will get you in a position and just hammer from everywhere and just throw like hammer fists probably to the back of your head. And Brundage is not afraid to curl up in a ball and quit and get a DQ / no contest. So if there's a bet on fight to either end by no contest or DQ, take a little bit of a stab on that, because that's a live outcome here if it's not a just clean TKO for Malik. Anyway though, let's move on. Next up, this is my one underdog of the card, because everyone be calling me favourite lane MMA, so I'm going to pick one dog here. I'm taking Cody No Love. We are going to be trusting Cody No Chin Garbrandt with our $10 multi this weekend. And we will be rage quitting when he brawls in the pocket and gets chinned. But I do think with the odds of this, I don't think Barcelos is that good. And if he hadn't beat Talbott, and if he was coming off a fucking TKO loss to Peyton Talbott, which I don't even think that fight against Talbott proves me anything for him. It just proves that Talbott's got shit takedown defense. But let me find this guy's record. I'm sorry, because I'll spend a little bit of time. I'll spend a couple minutes here. Raoni Barcelos. Because I don't think he's that good. Cool, you beat Talbot, right? You took him down a whole bunch. Talbot has been just ragdollable before. Yes, Garbrandt lost to Figgy in the grappling. I don't think we're getting the same level of grappling here with fucking Barcelos and Talbot. He went 8 from 15 on takedowns. Before that, though, he got a sub over Christian Quinones in a scrappy fucking geriatric-looking fight where neither of them looked very good. I don't rate Christian Quinones. He lost to Kyler Phillips cleanly, just got outstruck, easily got dropped in that fight as well on that Font Sandhagen card. And he got KO'd by Umar. So to me, it's like Umar and Phillips are the two high-level-ish top 15 guys that he's fought. He lost the decision to Victor fucking Henry, dude. I don't think Victor Henry is that good. Victor Henry put 180 significant strikes on his head. I don't even remember this fight. UFC 270. I must have saw that. I just forgot it. Was that a good fight, or was that just stat padding strike numbers? Anyway, though, I don't know if his defense is that good. He lost to Timur Valiev, the guy who got cut from the UFC and fought on Tough. He's been around for a hot minute. I don't know. I'm looking way back now. I'm dragging it. But, I don't know. He hasn't really beaten anyone impressive. What's the win from Barcelos where, this dude's a fucking contender? This kid's a fucking savage. How do you not put Barcelos in the fucking top 10? I haven't seen a win from that level. And I know that Garbrandt was kind of a one-hit wonder with the Cruz fight. But I still think, he's shown enough in these other fights where, he's not just getting slept in the first rounds. He was beating Dillashaw in the first fight and then was retarded and lost. He was beating Pedro Munoz. It's he's beating these guys and he then is shit. I don't think Barcelos is a power puncher. We haven't just seen this dude laying people out. He's getting kind of crafty subs against literal, bottom 30 bantamweights. Christian Quinones is a fucking bottom 35 bantamweight. He's not good. So I think Cody Garbrandt can win here. We're yet to see a loss from Garbrandt. He was booked against Miles Johns last year. He pulled out of that fight. If he'd lost to a Miles Johns, then I would say, okay, yeah, now it's very clear that this dude is just unranked caliber. But to me, we've seen what happens when you give Cody Garbrandt unranked guys. We've seen him just kind of easily just do his thing against Trevin Jones and get his confidence back. And then we saw him fucking KO Brian Kelleher, who's also a chinny old guy. We seen him KO him in the first round. So, I'm not saying Barcelos is worse than those guys, than Trevin Jones, and worse than Brian Kelleher. But I think Cody can come in with some confidence. I think he can back himself to not get fucking chinned here. And in a fight where I don't think he's fighting a big power puncher, unless he just has no grappling defense at this point, I think he can win this on the feet. I think he's going to be way sharper, way faster. And it's when you see these guys who the only washed part of them is their chin, but all their skills are still there. We saw it with Reyes, how we were just always concerned he's going to get chinned. Where, he is a better fighter than Ryan Spann, but he just gets caught. But then as soon as, he actually gets his offense off, Reyes is fucking KOing Jacoby and KOing Smith and KOing Krylov. And who knows, he might just get KO'd as soon as he actually faces resistance and gets touched. And maybe that's the thing with Garbrandt, but to me, I think this is the level of opposition that he's able to beat by relatively close decision, or catch him early, which I think he will. So I'm going Cody Garbrandt by round 1 finish. Let's move on though to the next fight. Next up, Edmen Shabazyan. This kid's 26 and he's already got 14 fucking fights in the UFC or however many it is. I don't know, this dude's got to be the longest standing, like, youngest UFC vet ever. Like, you have to call him a vet at this point. This dude's been around since the 2010s. Like, how many UFC fights does Edmen Shabazyan have? I want to check. Because he got in the sport so early and then just got fraud checked a bunch. Edmen Shabazyan. And then it was just clear that he had no fucking grappling defense. But, like, he's still young. So, again, it's a similar Garbrandt situation where I'm like, yeah, his takedown defense is shit. But I still think striking, and that is the worry here, because, it's not like his takedown defense is awful, but it's like, he isn't really able to fight deep and grit down in a fight. But, like, I don't think, I'm picking him to win. I don't think Petroski is a guy who can make you grit down. It would be great if a fucking Shurdo would load. That would be tremendous. Let's see. Edmen Shabazyan is 14-5 overall. 12 out of those 14 by KO. How many UFC fights? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. He's got 12 UFC fights and he's 27. To be fair, that's not actually that crazy. He hasn't been overly active. But like, Tavares, like the guys he's beating, yeah, like it's Tavares, it's Dolce Lugiambula, it's AJ Dobson, it's Dylan Buckley. You can't say they're crazy impressive names. But the guys he's losing to are Derek Brunson, Jack Hermanson, Nasruddin Imavov, Anthony Hernandez, and then the GM3 fight where he almost had GM3 dead and then just decided to lose. I don't think Petroski's on that level of anyone except for GM3, but I don't think Petroski has the crafty kind of vet max ability to get himself back into a fight and find a crafty sub. Petroski's not submitting anyone. He's going to just shit lay and pray decisions, and that is a good chance that he could just sit on Shabazyan the whole fight. So that's why Shabazyan's not a lock. But if these two stand on the feet for more than 2 minutes, I'm very fucking confident that Petroski's getting slapped. Like, Shabazyan's quick and he's dangerous and he's still, like, he's snappy and he'd be working on his game. He knows that takedown defense is a problem and they're going to just be training pure wrestling defense for Petroski. He slept Budka. The difference is, like, Petroski took Budka to a fucking mid-ass decision. He took Josh Friend to a mid-ass decision. He's taken all these guys to mid-ass decisions. At least when Shabazyan's winning fights, it's in exciting, violent, finishing fashion. And he gets people out of there. So we saw Petroski get KO'd in like a minute flat by Michel Pereira. So I think Shabazyan can do a similar thing. Crack him with the right, put him away. Let's go Edmen Shabazyan. Let's move on though to the co-main event. Next up, Thug Rose Namajunas versus Miranda Maverick. It's a badass fight. It's two tough cookies right here. How do you not put this the main event? Honestly, this should be the fucking main event. No, I don't care about this fight. No one does. Why is it the co-main? I guess it's just because it's got Namajunas on there. She's got name value. I'll pick Namajunas to win. I think Maverick's mid. Maverick's a low-key hear me out. Like, would do. Couple beers would do. But yeah, I don't know. She's cool. But Rose, looks like a teenage boy. Again, pick the one who looks more like a boy. Usually works out. But also, the peaks of Rose's career are just way better than anything I see from Maverick. Maybe this is the point of no return with Rose, where, like, some of her losses to Blanchfield and to Fiora, you can look at and be like, yeah, cool, got out-wrestled, or at flyweight with Fiora, like, you can be like, okay, you just fought a way bigger person. But to me, none of their losses are like, yeah, that's shit, that's just a shit fighter. Like, it's not like when Holly Holm or when some of these other former champions, like a fucking Andrei Arlovski, starts losing to just bums, and you're like, okay, you're no longer in the category of like, oh, dangerous former champion that I can still rely on. Now you're bum status. If Rose loses here, she's into bum status, and I'd probably pick Wang Kong to beat her. But right now, I'll pick Rose. Anyway, let's move on to the main event. Next up, Joaquin Buckley versus Kamaru Usman. I'm picking Buck. Obviously. Usman's going to pop him with the jab, bro. I reckon Usman's going to land the jab on him. I reckon Usman's going to put on a clinic, bro. Usman by 50-45, bro. Buckley's going to just hood max his way to a win here. Buckley's big meaty hooks maxing his way to a W. I just don't see Usman being able to compete with the athleticism, with the power, with the explosivity, with the just the overall, and it's not like Usman's got any major advantages. Like, okay, cool, his technical wrestling is better. If you put these dudes in a freestyle wrestling match, maybe Usman wins. But like, Buckley's strong as fuck, and we just see him stuff takedowns from Colby, a bunch of them. We see this dude kind of just shuck people off and just beat him up, and then they end up on bottom, and he beats him up while they're on bottom. Like, Buckley does damage, and that's the thing. This is not Usman fighting pillow hands Colby, who's just going to output max you and cardio max you, and then start bitching you in the 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Like, to me, Buckley is... I don't think Buckley wilts. Now, maybe Usman just puts on a fucking cardio masterclass and drowns him late. But I don't think Buckley is ineffective until, like... We haven't seen him look ineffective due to cardio reasons. We just haven't. If anything, all his best rounds, even in the fights he was getting schooled up at middleweight, his best round against Amavov was the 3rd when he came out, pushed the pace, and Amavov was the one who was gassing. Like... I think Buckley's cardio is not an issue here, and I think that's the only way Usman would win. I don't think Usman knocks Buckley out. Buckley hasn't looked chinny at welterweight, and Usman hasn't knocked anyone out since fucking Masvidal, which again was like his 2nd most recent win at this point. But it actually was. The Masvidal KO was his 2nd most recent win, and that was in fucking 2021. You're washed, bro. He's fucking 39. He's got no knees. Literally, his knees are washed. His knees are cooked. Buckley's just got all the advantages here. You just don't... It's difficult for me to pick these older vets that have been around for ages that are coming off layoffs. If this was Usman coming off the Hamzat win 4 months later, I'm probably considering an Usman pick. But, like, he's just washed. And the thing is with Usman, the way he beat, or not beat, but almost beat Hamzat was... He stuffed Hamzat's takedowns later on. He started putting it on Hamzat on the feet. Hamzat's striking defense sucks, and he's the one that actually has cardio problems. Buckley doesn't have that. I don't think this is like Buckley almost gets him out of there in the 1st and gasses, and Usman puts it on him. I don't think Buckley gasses due to output. And if anything, I think he's just going to keep beating on Usman, who we've kind of now learnt from all these other guys that all the previous Usman wins are all losing. Like, Burns has lost a bunch. Colby lost to Buckley, obviously. Colby lost to Leon even. And even Leon, who beat Usman, we've now seen just get bitched and tossed around. And it's like, alright, Usman, why didn't you submit this guy? Like, why didn't you ragdoll this guy and literally, like, not even give him a second of space to even find a head kick KO? So to me, it's just a dominance thing. It's like we're seeing these... I think that Usman era of welterweight is low-key being fucking exposed. Because Colby, I know everyone said, that didn't look like Colby. The way Colby fought Buckley is exactly how he fucking fights. He's just rendered ineffective because he fought someone who's just stronger than him, bigger than him, and just more explosive and can just shuck his takedowns off and beat him up on the feet. Colby's not a good striker. He isn't. He just has a chin. He's got no power. He's never fucking put anyone in danger on the feet before in his life. Masvidal dropped him. So I think this old era of welterweights is kind of getting exposed as overrated by these new guys. And again, I don't think this is just a case of, they're old. Like, if Buckley goes out there and Usman just, like, dies and just cripples at the first fucking punch, then you can kind of discredit them and be like, okay, Usman's old. But Usman's going to come out there, do exactly what he normally does, which is pump a jab, thinking he's fucking Canelo, shoot some takedowns that he thinks are going to work, Buckley will stuff him, and then he's just going to get beaten up on the feet. And I don't think his reaction time's going to be as good. We saw that with Izzy against Amavov, and I think he gets KO'd sometime in the 2nd or 3rd round. Let's go Buckley by KO. That'll do it, guys. Those are the picks. Was trying to keep him short, ended up venturing out to about the 30-minute mark. That's not too bad for predictions, though. You're lucky it wasn't fucking 2 hours. Anyway, though, that'll do it. I'm going to get some sleep. See you later.